Previous video we saw how a completed full format and the score only tournament looks like to the users, what are all the features and what is the difference between both the tournaments. Now we are going to look at the match day scoring of both the tournaments. So on the match day, how you would score a particular match for both the formats. So first we are going to look at full format. Now I've already set up a demo tournament here. I've added a few matches, so we are going to click on one of the matches. So let's say I click on first match. Here we can see the scores. So the admin or the organizer can see a start scoring button on the option. They can like verify if the squad has been if the players have been added, and then we click on start scoring option. So here we have the option to set the lineups. Now if you see in the bottom, we have two options. We can skip the lineup, or we can basically set the lineup and we can go to the next screen. To set the lineup, so I have already set up a lineup here, a basic lineup, but I will show you like how we can set the lineup. So basically we can just click on the player and we can drag and drop into the position we want the player to be in. So and all the players down here, they become the substitutes which have not been placed basically. So and now we click on next. So similarly, I've set up the lineup for the C team. Now, if you see down here, we have save and score later, and we have start scoring option. So save and score later is you can set the lineups before you score, so way before a match is going to take place. So and you can also use it as an announce lineup feature. So this is great for a tournament which has like weekly matches, and this is like a good user anticipation thing where you can announce the lineups a couple of hours before the match, and they would be able to see the lineups here before the match has been scored. So let's say now for scoring we do next. If there are any changes in the lineups, you can do that before you actually start scoring. You click on start scoring here, and you have two options. You have live scoring and post match scoring. So live scoring is still in development, so we would do post match scoring. So once the match is completed, you so this is the main scoring dashboard here. Now if you see, we have a couple of options down here for the events. So let's say I click on goal, I enter the minute at which it happened. We select the team for the event, and the goal scorer and the assist scorer. If you want to select, you can select, or you can skip it. You can now. So I'm just going to add a couple of events: the player subbing in, the player subbing out, substitution, yellow cards. This is like just to show you how simple it is to add an event. Like adding an event takes less than 10 seconds. And yeah, so we can add red card, we can add own goals. And let me just draw so I can show you the penalty flow of the match. So if you see, the match is level right now. So at this stage, when you click on end match, you would see an option. You can end it as a draw, which you do usually at league stages, or you can decide with penalties. So let's say I click on decide with penalties, we enter the penalty mode. So we can quit the penalty mode from this button down here if we have entered it by mistakenly, or we add a penalty shootout event. So we select the team who is taking the penalty taker, and we set if it is scored, if they have scored or they have missed. So we basically add a penalty. Similarly, you can add following events if they have scored or missed. So now this section is how it would appear in the match events in the overview section of the match as well, which we saw in the last video. So now I can end the penalty shootout, since like we have a decided result 1-0. So if I click on end, just make sure you have added everything right. You cannot change anything here to maintain the consistency, so that no one updates it after the tournament or after the match is scored to manipulate the leaderboards or something. So once we click on yes, we can set the player of the match. So this would be the man of the match. So we just select from team A the player, and we confirm, or we can skip it and then set it from the match dashboard as well. So if you see, this match has been completely scored. Now when I click on the match, it shows the starting, it shows the substitutes, it shows the overview of what has happened. We have the lineups here, we have the player of the match, Nikhil Rao from team A. Now when I come back to leaderboards, if you see that the leaderboards has been updated, we did not set any assists, we did not have any clean sheets, so clean sheets are given to the goalkeepers. A yellow card, red card. We have the points table updated here, we have the tournament stat updated here. So this is how like you score a match. So now we are going to look at the flow where we don't set up the lineups. Now I'll go with the A versus B match, and we will have the same flow. We have the squads, we click on start scoring, and one interesting thing you will see is that the lineup for A team is already set. Now this is because when we had set up the lineup in first match, it basically saves the lineup for team A, and in the next match it pulls the lineup from there. So it shows a predicted lineup, or basically so that you do not have to set the complete lineup again. So essentially you have to just set the lineups in the first match, and then you can follow it up with any of the changes that you make here, and any changes you make here will showcase in the next match there, in the third match. Let's say you make a change here, and in the third match it would show the lineup from this particular match. So it carry forwards the lineup, so you don't have to make a lot of changes. But here we are going to skip the lineups, so we click on skip lineups, and again we have this option showing up. So we go with post match scoring. Here we have to select the goalkeepers for both the teams, because we need to account for the clean sheets. So if a team does not concede a goal, the clean sheet has to be added for a goalkeeper. So we have to select the goalkeeper here. We select goalkeeper for both the teams. We click on next, and we have the same scoring dashboard. So this is completely same, it remains the same, there is no difference between both. We just select, so I'm not going to again go through the flow. I'm just going to set a winner. I click on end match, yes. I'll skip the player of the match for this one, and if you see, this has been scored. The points table will all be updated like before. You can also assign the player of the match after you have scored. So you can essentially assign a player of the match here. So if you see again, the player of the match will be updated. And this is it for the full format. Now we go to score only. So as I mentioned, score only is like a very lightweight version of the full format. You do not have the players there. So essentially what you do, this is another demo tournament for score only. So we essentially go to the match, and we only enter the scores that we want to set. So we can set 2-0. If we set like 0-0, then we can decide with penalties, and we set up the score something like this. And when we click on submit, next we have this option to set the lineups. So we would do this manually. You can skip this if you don't want to set the leaderboards, but if you want to maintain the leaderboards, you basically let's say this player scored 1 goal, and we do not have any players, so we can add the player. You can select, you have this team here, see already set. Let's say name this player ABC, enter the goal, add. So in the following matches, this player would show up. We can give it one one assist, and we save and continue. So this would update the match, this would update the leaderboards that we have here. The points table would be updated, and so if you see, like you see, the score only is like a very lightweight version. You do not have to set any match events or anything. You just simply set the score. If you want to set, you set the leaderboards. And if you see in any of the format, the matching would, in full format, the time it would take for you to score a match would be 30 seconds, and for score only it would like come down to 10 seconds essentially. So this is how the goes. For in the next, we will see, look at the feature of generate schedule. We have this button right here. So how we can generate the schedule. Like this is one of my favorite features of the application. So we will look at that in the next video.